I'm going to let Clay do his job. Interpret for me. So my name is Dawn Duran. I met many of you because I used to be one of the interpreters here at the Deaf Center. I'm now working for an agency called ASL Communication. And so even though I'm working somewhere else, they couldn't get rid of me. So I'm still here all the time for everything else. I just wanted to take a few minutes of your time. I will not take very long, but to let you know about something that's going on. Maybe you've heard, maybe you haven't, that there's been a task force set up to look at the impact of the move of USOR to the auspices of DWS. So that you're aware, and you may already be, in the initial audit prior to the move, in the auditor's report, there was a statement in there that their recommendation included that we move to DWS. However, they did express that the one entity that may not be appropriate under the governance of DWS was Division of Services to the Deaf and Hard of Hearing. So because of that, or maybe in conjunction with that, Representative Thurston provided a letter to the legislature last year in February stating that if the Division of Services to the Deaf and Hard of Hearing were to move under Department of Workforce Services, if that passed, that he wanted an audit to begin October of 2017, so that we had a year under DWS to see how things go and whether or not it's a good fit. Being the people that they are, the Utah Association of the Deaf was wise enough to determine that we needed to be prepared for that before an audit was called for, if it is called for. And so they have commissioned a task force to look at that move and the impact that it's had on our community. I'm serving as the lead of that task force, and we have 7 or 8 other members who are currently on that task force, including we are soliciting input from staff here, staff at DWS, but included in that task force are some community members as well. Our purpose in the task force is, one, to be prepared so that if and when they do call for that audit after we've been under DWS for a year, we're prepared with some information and not scrambling with the response for how that move has been. The second reason for that is to look at the impact on our community, the deaf, hard of hearing, and deaf-blind community, and if that move has had a positive impact, a negative impact, no impact, that's what we're looking at. We're currently gathering information. I have done quite a lot of interviews, and we have a lot of information gathered that we just need to organize. But we foresee that it's going to take us several more months to complete our work. The reason I'm here today is, one, to make sure you're aware that that's going on, and two, to solicit your input. If anybody here would like or is willing to be a member of the task force, we would love to have you. I think that it's important that the advisory council is a part of that task force in the final report that we submit. So we'd love to have one of you involved or more. At minimum, I would like to solicit your input, your thoughts. What we're looking at is the impact on the consumers who come in and receive services, as well as the impact on the staff who work here. So we want input on both of those, and we want the good, the bad, and the ugly. We've already found that there's been a lot of good, positive things that have come from the move, and a lot of things that aren't quite as positive. And so we want to gather all of that. So that's why I'm here today. I will pass around some cards so that you have my contact information. My email address is on here. My cell phone number is on here. I'll pass those around. Feel free to contact me at any time, and if you are able to participate, please let me know. Are there any questions?
When would the task force typically meet and communicate? How would they communicate?
So we communicate a lot through email and text right now because everybody's so busy that I didn't want meetings to be a hindrance to including critical people. So right now, a lot of it is just through email. And then we've met about once a month. And we've been meeting here just when we can kind of arrange people's schedules to be here. So far, they've been late afternoon once a month. But we don't want you to feel like you can't participate just because your schedule is limited, because your information is so critical. And so a lot of it really has been through email. Okay, and Joni's asking about when the report will be submitted. So that's such a wonderful question. Right now we're gathering data. It's going to take a couple more months. The goal that I have is that a report on what we found with any recommendations, if we have any, will be prepared and ready for me to make available no later than October 1st. I'm hoping it'll be closer to the end of August, but at minimum by October 1st. Are there any other questions? Yes, Stephen?
I'm not sure about the meetings. I wasn't sure about how you've met. I've noticed there's been a lot of improvement from before. Before I transferred to DWS, or the transfer to DWS, I feel like there has been some changes. I don't know if you agree with me or not.
So the information that we've already gathered, we found that there are some areas in which there has been significant improvement with those changes, and we found that there are a lot of areas where there has not been significant improvement. I don't really want to mention what those are because my main concern is that as we're gathering data, I don't want it to be case scenario data. So you had this one event happen, and for some reason you think that one event is an example of how everything is overall with DWS. I think that's a dangerous road to go down. And so I'm kind of holding what we found so far because a lot of it is scenarios. And what we need to see is if some of the concerns, both good and bad, coming to us, if we're seeing that in multiple venues with multiple individuals, rather than just an individual in one situation. So, Stephen, you have a lot of great insight, so I would love for you to email me. I know you already have my email address. Any of your thoughts, anything that you've seen that we could look into, every piece of information that we get, all of your feedback, we will look into that and we will check to see if that same issue is a recurring issue or a one-time issue.
This is Stephen. I had another question. So those who have had a negative experience, they need to talk to you about that. So, or would they also talk to you about their positive experiences?
Yes. So, like I mentioned, we've had lots of pros and lots of cons. So if you're aware of other individuals,
would there be suggestions on how to fix those issues as well?
so I don't want to put the cart before the horse. So here's what we're looking at. We need to look at what those changes are and what impact they had on the community. There's always going to be changes, but we need to determine if there's impact on the community based on those changes. Once we have gathered that information, then we will determine if we have any recommendations to make in regards to how to resolve any issues. I am sure that we will have suggestions for resolutions, but we haven't discussed resolutions at this point because I want the data on the impact of the changes before we start looking into resolutions. It's very easy to get into resolutions and then you start figuring out how to either fix a problem that's not there or create a problem in someone's mind that really isn't a problem. So it's very important for us to gather the information first. But yes, if we will make recommendations if we find that we have recommendations to make, and we will solicit your thoughts. If we do find issues that need to be fixed, I commit to you that I will be back here with what we're finding and get your thoughts and your feedback on what those issues are and what you think could be done to resolve them. Any other questions?
I just have one thing. Can I move to the side a little bit? Thank you.
Oh,
Okay.
all right. If there's no other questions, oh, go ahead, Stephen.
So October 1st, 2017, that report would go to who? Who exactly?
So our goal is to have it done before October 1st because Representative Thurston is going to request a new audit to be completed sometime after October 1st, 2017. My responsibility is to provide that report to UAD, and that's what I intend to do. It is my expectation, mine, I don't know outside of that, it's my expectation that that report would be provided to you as an advisory council, as well as to DWS, USOR, to Maryland. We'll make the stakeholders involved aware, or we'll give them a copy of that report, and we intend to provide that report back to Representative Thurston and to anyone who would be participating in a potential audit.
Yeah, so sharing that with this advisory council as well as representatives.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'll share that with you, but I just want you to know that from my perspective, I will share that report with you. You're a stakeholder, you're critical in this issue, but do not expect that you're going to hear nothing and then get a report from us. I feel that it's my responsibility to report to you and to include you in this discussion. So with the permission of our chairperson, I will come back and give you an update on where we are and what we found before that final report is ready.
This is Kelly. So I wanted to, I wonder about this task force. Is there an outside, it says an outside person looking at DWS to see how this, but it's an outside view that people are seeing.
Right. Yeah, so right now, I'm the task force lead. We have advisors from here at the SDHH. We've met with Greg and Darren, and they were very generous in their offer of support and help. The other members of our task force are community members. There are 4 deaf individuals who are participating as well, and they're all community members. None of them work for the state. Anything else? Okay, thank you for letting me take your time. I appreciate it. And I passed around my cards. Please feel free to email or call me if you have questions, but particularly if you have feedback we'd like to include you. Thank you.